Hey there. So this week I wanted to talk to you about something a little bit personal. I don't know if I've ever told you why I got into coaching, but today is the day. When I was about 21, I started having panic attacks. I actually didn't even know what a panic attack was, and what had happened is I'd gone up to an event with a friend, and all of a sudden sort of felt like the world was completely caving in on me. My hands got sweaty, I got sick to my stomach, I felt lightheaded, I was fairly certain I was going to pass out. What else can I tell you? It's just everything seemed to be magnified, like sounds and sensations in my body, everything was just magnified, and it terrified me. It made me feel, like I was going crazy, which was, as you can imagine, an even more frightening feeling than just the sensations I was already experiencing. And that just kind of put me into this mindset of something was severely wrong with me. I thought like I had a screw loose, which some people might have thought I did at the time, which, fair enough. But that being said, for the successive probably 10 years or so, I had panic attacks all the time. I had what's called a generalized anxiety disorder with panic attacks, and so I would have these moments where I would just be, kind of hanging out, doing my thing, whatever that was, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I would feel terrified, like I was gonna die, or worse yet, I wasn't gonna die, but I was gonna die eventually, and it was gonna take a really long time and be horribly slow and painful, and all of this really just horrifying stuff. And I didn't talk to anybody about it for like 2 years, didn't say a word, and pretty much suffered in silence on my own. And what was happening is my social circle was getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, because what started to happen, and for those of you who do deal with panic and anxiety disorder, is you develop what you call safe people that you feel like it's okay for you to be around, and if anything should happen to go wrong with you, that they're not going to hate you for it or leave you to die in a ditch by yourself. Or maybe they will. Who knows? But the thing is I started to do that. I stopped going out to places and being around people, and it just, my life went from being very full and exciting and a lot of fun to being what one might consider my own personal prison cell. And it was awful. And I tried everything. Once I was finally to the point to where I would talk about it, because for the longest time I just couldn't. I was terrified that, people would really judge me and, well, that's not who I know, and what the hell's wrong with you, and can't you just get over it? My favorite statement in the world. No, you can't just get over it, because it's not something that you just got. It's something that actually takes a long time to develop. And by the time it manifests, whatever was the initial catalyst for these kinds of feelings is, generally speaking, in your past in some way, shape, or form. Or if it's in your present, you feel as though it's something that you can't necessarily just drop, get away from, or leave. It's just part of the landscape of your life. And what ended up happening with me is I tried everything. I tried counseling, I tried therapy, I tried medication over the counter, I tried some alternative healing methods, and finally what actually did it was I found a 3-prong approach that I'll talk to you guys a little bit more about later on, but suffice to say, I really had to sit down and do some introspection and really look at the things that had happened to me in my life and become very honest and clear about what brought me to this place to where I was in no man's land, because no man wants to go there when you feel the way that I was feeling. So after I kind of spent some time really digging deep and looking at the things that caused me to have panic attacks and generalized anxiety, which it wasn't just one thing. Let me get that out there right now. For those of you who suffer, for those of you who don't, it's never just one thing. It's almost always a series of several things, events, people that have been in your life. It's a big fat ball of stuff. But that being said, once I kind of started to understand what had happened and what had gone on inside of me to bring me to this place, then I was able to approach things a little bit differently. I've started looking at, what was happening with me physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And I've started to kind of look at things from a different perspective and understand that, the things I was going through weren't necessarily because I was defective as a human being. It was because I had suffered through some serious shit in my life, and I wasn't able to fully process it, or the things I was able to process, I only got to a certain point and then I had to stop. So I then got into this 3-prong approach that I'll talk to you about at another time, where I was able to distill, some very profound methods and effective methods for alleviating myself and eventually curing myself of panic, anxiety, and this generalized fear that I had lived with for so long. Now, I've been panic attack free for probably, that was an awesome face. I just saw that. For probably about 7 years. I haven't had a single panic attack. I haven't had any or abnormal or excessive anxiety about really anything. And now I'm to the point to where I speak publicly. I'm speaking to you here on this video that's, all over the place. And, I teach workshops and classes and all this kind of stuff that previous to me getting to this point was like off limits, wasn't going to happen, total nightmareville. And I'm here to tell you that that's really what kind of got me into coaching, was that experience, plus a myriad of others, but primarily just, learning and understanding that the things that had affected me so very much, I wasn't the only one that was suffering with them. And I really found the desire, or felt compelled, if you will, to get out there and really try to help people through some of this stuff that just happens, And now that I'm doing this, I talk to all kinds of people from all over the world that really, seem to be benefiting from just having somebody out there that knows how it feels and is willing to talk about it and is happy to talk about it and wants to offer a helping hand. Anyway, so that's kind of one of the things that brought me to life coaching is some of my own personal experiences and making it to the other side of them in a positive way. Yeah. So I hope your week is great. And if this has helped you in any way, shape, or form, or will help anybody that you know the drill. Subscribe, like, share. Visit me on my website at alysabarthacoaching.com. And hey, oh yeah, I'm even on Facebook. Who knew? Anyway, I hope to see you or hear from you soon.